All right, g'day folks, and welcome back to Gospelpedia Podcast. I'm Lachlan, sitting here in the shed with Simon, as always. And mate, if I chuck the word baptism at you, what's the first thing that pops into your noggin?
Water, for sure. Like a river or a little baby in a church with folks watching. There's always, liquid, pouring or dunking. It's the picture burned into my brain since I was a kid. I'd bet it's universal.
Yeah, can't say how many different. But here's the kicker. From what I've been reading, and this sermon we dug into, that classic water ritual thinking might have gotten there just through a quirk of translation. Or actually, transliteration. That tripped me up at first. You reckon you can break down that difference in plain English?
I'll give it a shot. Okay. Translation is when you change a word's meaning into another language. Transliteration is when you just copy the sound over, but keep most of the meaning packed up inside. So, in Greek, the word's baptizo. And when the earliest English translators got a hold of it, King James and that lot, they didn't have a perfect word, so they just took baptizo, swapped it for baptism, and kept it rolling. It's basically a Greek word in borrowed shoes.
Right, and the punchline is that baptism isn't really an English word at all. Like you said, a Greek word wearing a fake mustache and glasses. The problem with that, from the speaker's point of view, is we let rituals, what we did with water, define the word, when it really had a bigger, different meaning first. So we think baptism equals water, but that's just reading back what we do, not what the word actually meant, yeah?
Exactly. The speaker gave examples where water just doesn't make sense, which I loved. Mark 7:4. Pharisees come back from the market and baptize their cups, pitchers, even dining couches. I mean, who's dunking their sofa in a bath every time they shop? That's nuts.
If we take baptizo to mean water immersion, the text has folks dragging their loungers into the pool, which, nah. The speaker argued what's actually happening is purification, changing the state from unclean to clean. The water isn't really center stage. It's just one way things get reset. So, context tells you what baptizo means in any place.
And then she raised another one. When Jesus says, "Go and baptize all nations," in Matthew 28. Can't dunk a whole country in a river. The idea there, she said, is immersion in teaching or new values, not dunking a flag in a lake, right?
Makes sense, mate. So, if we stop thinking about water, suddenly baptism's more about what's happening inside than what liquid you're using. Sort of flips Sunday morning on its head, doesn't it?
Which brings up the big question. If baptism isn't all about water, then what's it about? The preacher zeroes in on this union with Christ idea and gets all fired up over tiny grammar words like with versus into. Kind of sounds like splitting hairs, doesn't it? But she makes a case that they're miles apart.
Yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around that. Crucified with Christ versus baptized into Christ. From what I get, with is sort of like being at the same place and time, right? She reckons when Paul says Christians were crucified with Jesus, it's a legal thing, like being on the paperwork together. Both names on the dotted line, so to speak.
Spot on. Then, baptized into Christ is a bit different. She made it clear, you're not baptized with Jesus, you're baptized into him. Her point was, Jesus' own baptism was to show everyone who he was, like a big reveal party with the dove and the voice and all that. We don't need to do that. We need to merge our identity into his, not just copy what he did. The Greek preposition into means you actually shift location from being outside Christ to inside Christ. It's all about spiritual merger, not just standing next to him.
Now, this is the part where I went down a rabbit hole. Her example about the Israelites in Exodus, baptized into Moses when they went through the Red Sea, that floored me. The ones baptized didn't get wet. They kept their feet dry while the Egyptians got soaked, which flips the water idea right on its head.
Right, so if the folks who got baptized stayed dry, then clearly baptism there is union, joining their fate to Moses as their leader. It's about becoming one identity, following wherever he went, trusting him enough to walk through something wild. Honestly, it reminded me of my first improv show. The moment I stepped on stage, I felt like I wasn't just performing with the crowd. Something clicked, and I was inside this shared experience, like I lost myself into it. Super weird, but way more than just standing with the audience, you know?
Ha! That's a ripper analogy, mate. And the sermon took it further. After the baptism into Moses, all the manna and water God gave to Moses, the folks with him got to share in too. They got the benefits because they were fully merged with their leader, at least for the journey. That identity transfer's the kicker. It's not just a badge, it's a brand new passport.
Exactly, the union idea. So the argument is, baptism isn't a ritual badge you slap on. It's this invisible merger. And if that's true, what changes for folks living it out day by day? That's where things get messy.
Yeah, let's get real. The preacher asked, if you've got this merger, why do you still feel like you're getting chased by old enemies? Why, if I've got the keys to the kingdom, am I still struggling to start my engine in the morning, right? She called it the gap between legal truth and daily experience.
Big one. She wasn't shy about it. Said most folks don't experience being in Christ the way the theology lays it out, all victorious and shiny. Her answer? It's about what you actually know. Cited Romans 6. Don't you know? Like, the paperwork's signed, but it doesn't truly affect you till it sinks in deep. Head knowledge isn't heart revelation.
Reminds me of fixing up old trail bikes. You might own all the right parts, gearbox, carb, the works, but unless you know how to bang them together, the bike doesn't run. It takes more than just owning the pieces. You got to see how it fits, then actually ride it. Otherwise, you're all parts, no petrol.
Yeah, and the danger, the preacher reckoned, is relying just on the water side, the ritual. She said you can get dunked on Sunday and just end up, well, a wet sinner if the inside hasn't shifted. You've washed the outside, but you haven't rebuilt the engine. To live out the new spiritual reality, you've got to know at your core that you're merged with Christ, and then stand your ground even when it doesn't feel like it matches what's happening on Monday morning.
So, to tie it together, it's not about piling up more rituals or trying harder. It's about seeing more, having those light bulb moments where you realize what's already true on the legal side actually counts for you. Like, it's less do more and more remember who you already are, even on tricky days.
Right. It's a different kind of fight. Not trying to get free from the stuff chasing you, but standing on the fact that, hey, it's already settled. It pushes responsibility back to folks, making it more internal. I like that. And that wraps up our episode today.
All right, that's us for this round. If this chat got your gears turning or left you with more questions than answers, well, you're not alone. We'll keep digging in future episodes. Simon, thanks for the ride, mate.
Thanks, Lachlan. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Catch you next time on My First Podcast. Take care and stay curious.